I know a lot of persons want to know, okay, how can I take my business above beyond where we are? And here we have Chimela Anosike. This, I hope I pronounced the name well. She will be having her for our panel section, and I would love to read a brief about her so you know who we are engaging for our panel section. You know that she's someone with wealth of knowledge, and she's here to impact us and share a wealth of knowledge with us. Okay, very quickly, let me tell us about Chimela. Chimela Miracle Anosike is an innovative entrepreneur and business developer with a strong business acumen. She's trained and certified in project management, business development, startup incubation, product design and development, and computer-aided manufacturing and management by esteemed institutions such as the American Academy of Project Management, Draper University, Silicon Valley, EDC Pan Atlantic University, GIZ Nigeria, and ECOWAS, Nigeria Institute of Management, Autodex, and the Clintonell Innovation Center, and Future Female Business School. Also, as a solar entrepreneur, Chimela holds international certifications in solar system designs and micro and mini grids development. Her primary interest lies in solar home systems, energy as a service, and energy capacity building. Chimela oversees business development at Solaris Green Tech, or a renewable energy startup dedicated to creating green jobs, promoting energy inclusion, and combating energy poverty in Nigeria. Solaris Green Tech focuses on providing clean, affordable energy to those at the bottom of the economic pyramid, particularly individuals living on less than $1 a day. She achieves this by deploying microenergy products like SHAS and solar booths to rural and peri-urban communities lacking reliable grid access. Additionally, Solaris is committed to training young people in solar energy. Chimela's career is marked by numerous achievements and fellowships. She has been recognized as a fellow in various prestigious programs, including the UK-AID and RISA 12M program, IFE Israeli Nigeria Innovation Program, Cleantech Hub Energy Innovation Center Incubation Program, Hardware Garage Startup Program, and African Climate Justice Alliance, Future Females, and the Western Well Foundation Young Founders Program. She has also been a delegate at significant international conferences like COP27 in Egypt and EAIF by ARE in Cote d'Ivoire. Her accolades include winning the Wimbes Impact Investment Award 2022, the Nigerian Climate Innovation Center Energy Challenge Award 2022, and the RES for Africa Foundation Microgrid Young Talent of the Year Award 2022. Chimela's commitment to mentorship is evident through her roles with Africa Matters and Upskill Digital. In her personal life, Chimela is passionate about community building, reading, personal development, traveling, business, and her faith. Her journey reflects a profound dedication to creating impactful and sustainable change in the world. Okay, please can we welcome our panelists this afternoon, Chimela Miracle. Can we welcome her? Please, Chimela, can you hear me?
Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening,
everyone. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, it's good to have you join us today. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for willing to share your work or knowledge with our people. Okay, a very quick one. I would love to hear from the horse's mouth. I know I've read about you, and but people would love to hear from you yourself. Can you share about Solaris to people? Let our people hear from you directly.
Okay, so please confirm you can hear me clearly.
Yes,
I can hear you.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for having me. So I would apologize beforehand. There was a heavy downpour here. So I'm in Nigeria, Abia State, and so you noticed I was joining with two different devices. So in case the network locks me off, I'll join another device and all. So thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Ed Africa, for bringing me here. I'm sincerely grateful. My name is Chimela Anosike, and so I think I got logged off while my bio was being read, but everything that was read is true. Okay, so my name is Chimela Anosike. I'm the founder of Solaris Green Tech Hub. So at Solaris, we are a renewable energy company, and we are committed to combating energy poverty, and we measure on micro energy solutions, micro solar solutions, and so we supply basically to rural peri-urban communities that are disconnected from the grid. And so we look out for those communities that are, entirely off grid. We supply our solar systems to us. So we have different solar solutions. We have micro solar lanterns, solar micro SHS systems, our solar booth. I wouldn't go so technical, but just know that Solaris deploy micro solar solutions. So micro is, the smaller capacities, 10 watts, 100 watts, 50 watt and all. Whereas, the macro, the bigger capacity guys and all. So we are playing at the micro level at the moment. So we also into capacity building. We've worked with a couple of organizations to train young persons in Abia State on solar system design, inverter design and all. So yeah, that's everything about Solaris. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I hope our people are already getting some. Oh, no audio. Please, Kingsley, can you hear us now? Can any other person hear us?
Its audio is back. The audio is back.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you, everyone. All right, thank you, Chimela. That was a nice one. Okay, before we okay, let's quickly dive into what we have for you, and let's see how let our people learn from you. Okay, I know we're looking at expansion, going continental with your brand, and we have African entrepreneurs of this webinar today who are willing, and they are looking at.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can still hear you.
Okay, I think we lost the moderator.
Hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I can hear you.
All right. Apologies, please. I had a network issue, which I just saw them. So please, I'm very sorry for that. Okay, let me go on with the question again. I don't know if Chimela actually had other things I said before the network went off. Okay, just like I said previously that the entrepreneurs and business owners we have here are looking towards having their business going continental, going beyond their present location. So we'd love to ask that what are the opportunities in the ECOWAS for businesses in member countries? What opportunities are there for them?
Okay. Thank you so much. Sorry, I didn't get your name.
Okay. My name is Adewale Kendi. I am the media and communication.
Okay, Adewale. Thank you so much. Thank you for your question. So if I heard you correctly, we're looking at opportunities that businesses can leverage to expand into other African countries, mostly other ECOWAS country. Okay, so I would share. I'm a Nigerian, so I'm in Nigeria, and I would bring some of my responses, instances, and examples home, and try as much as possible to extend it to other West African countries. Okay, so for my business, for instance, Solaris, I mentioned initially that we provide energy solutions. That is that the West African markets, we have similar. So would I say we are homogeneous in nature? Sort of. We have similar challenges, similar problems in different other sectors. Because I've been opportune to talk to a couple of businesses, young businesses who are struggling with their business, and they don't know if their solution would be acceptable in, say, Kenya or Mali or Niger and all that. And I will always, share from my experiences and all. So the West African markets, all of the countries within the West African region, we have similar challenges, we have similar problems, we have similar need. We have the market is so similar. The market is there are a lot of similarities and all. So I'm saying all of that to say this. So in Nigeria, for instance, we have a lot of problems around different sectors that you could provide solutions to, provide product solutions to. For instance, I look at the education sector for instance, especially the STEM, science related sectors and all that. So I have this business that I've coached over the years, and they develop STEM kits for students in those sectors. And so I run an engineering company, but funny enough, I don't have an engineering background. And I would always date back to how sciences were taught in school. A lot of us ran away from sciences because it wasn't fun, it wasn't practical, it wasn't hands-on and all. So we ran away from it. So this business that I've been working with, develop STEM kits that makes learning science fun and engaging. So think of all those physics laws and chemistry laws, law of thermodynamics, Bohr's law, Charles laws, and also the develop STEM kits and all that makes those laws, that simplifies them, that makes them relatable, that, they incorporate real life experiences into learning these things. And over time, they've been operating in Nigeria, and they want to expand into, other African countries. But then the team lead was concerned with they may not necessarily have those problems and all. And then we went into research and all, and the extended to Rwanda at the moment, and they got there, the team got there, they did their research and all that, and they found out that most of those challenges are the same. Like the schools there, the way they deliver the content, Niger, or most of these African countries, he found out that most of the challenges are the same. You can actually deploy the solutions, sell in those countries, and all. So I'm saying this to say that most of the challenges within the ECOWAS region are very similar. So we have energy problems in Nigeria. We have a lot of people in rural, peri-urban communities and slums do not have access to electricity. We also have similar problems in Niger. We have similar problems in different African countries. I heard the last speaker mentioned research, do your research. And that is one thing I will always tell entrepreneurs. If you're an entrepreneur, you should be so big on research. So you identify. So what we are doing currently at the moment, we are doing in Nigeria, but we are working on, extending to other African countries. We are reaching out to other African countries, and we are realizing that the same way we are suffering from this energy crisis, they are suffering from this energy crisis. We have a target market in Nigeria which comprise of people in rural community. We have a demographics which comprise of farmers, people living below $1 daily and all that. And then we are going to Niger and we find out that we have the same. It's not even opposite or similar. The same markets in Niger. So the market is similar. And what I'm trying to say is that you can take what you're doing in Niger down, you can bring it down to Nigeria, you can take what you're doing in Nigeria to other ECOWAS, other African countries. So the opportunity is first the market. The market is very similar. So the problem you're trying to solve in this country, this other country, this country in ECOWAS region has the same problem, has the same market, and would purchase that same solution, because of course you need to have a target, you need to have a market for whatever solution it is that you are selling. You need to have a general, this is the total targeted market. You need to have a market, you need to have your serviceable obtainable market and all. So the first opportunity there is the market. Now the second opportunity is, because we are in the ECOWAS region, we have a lot of policies around free trade, and that would take me back to research. You need to go through. So the first speaker shared some policies, some opportunities, including banking systems and all that in the South African region. And it is similar in the West African region. I've been to South Africa a couple of times. I've been to other, so many other African countries, and I could tell you for free that when I'm in these African countries, I just feel the only difference is just that this is Nigeria, this is Rwanda, this is Botswana, this is Cote d'Ivoire, and all that. The feeling is the same. And all. So you need to, I've mentioned the first opportunity is the market. The second opportunity is that because it's in the ECOWAS region, a lot of policies around free trade, and there are a lot of policies around exportation, lower tariffs, because you're exporting to countries within the the West African region. And I don't know if you have so much time to delve deep into some of this, the free trade policies and all that. But yeah, these are some of the opportunities. And then of course, there are quite a number of organizations that you could also leverage. So I belong to, I don't know if any of us here belong to AfriLabs. It has made it so much easy to collaborate, to work with institutions, organizations, in different countries without necessarily. So we we started doing this project in Niger, and we never set foot into Niger. We're planning to do that, but then we have through this organizations, we're able to assess companies in Niger, startups in Niger, technology hubs in Niger. We can just, I'll just stop here and then go through the next round of the questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. If I'm able to get you, it means that there are lots of opportunities, and before you can even get these opportunities, as a business owner, I really need to do my research to know, okay, what is the problem with the other African country I really want to push my product or service to, so that it helps me to know, okay, what kind of solution I am bringing. All right, thank you very much. That takes me to the second question. Okay, now that we've identified opportunities, as a business owner, what steps do I take to harness these opportunities as a business owner?
Okay, so I would shed a little light on that. I think the first speaker, elaborated so much on this, and taking your business to other countries, whether it's South Africa, whether it's other ECOWAS country and all that. So I'll just buttress, shed a little more light on that. So the steps you need to take to harness these opportunities, take your business to this other African countries. Now, whatever sector you are into, whether it's agriculture, is renewable energy, is fintech, and all that. I would want to say this before I answer that question. A lot of attention, on Africa. There's a lot of opportunities, coming down to Africa. There are lot of attention looking down to, pouring into Africa. I've been to a couple of times, conference of parties, where a lot of, big organizations, different countries assemble, and each year they make commitment of investment, of funding that would be invested into Africa. The African market is so ripe. We have a lot of young persons, so the opportunities are numerous. And you could actually tap into all of these if you are able to position your business well, if you're able to, structure whatever you do, the business you do, whatever it is that you do, structure it so well that it is working in your own country first, and you can export it into, other African countries. Okay, so having said that, I will just go right into what are the steps you need to take. What are the steps you need to go? First is conducting your market research. You need to conduct your market research. You need to understand, this country that you're going into. You need to understand this other West African, ECOWAS country that you're stepping into. You need to understand, what is the environment like. The environment here now is not just, atmosphere. We're looking at cultural. We're looking at political. We're looking at environmental. So I remember I mentioned taking some of our products into Niger, and the part of Niger we want to deploy to, most of them are living way below, the pyramid, below
Hello,
1 USD daily. So exactly, Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. We lost the connection. Hello, can you hear us?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hi, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Oh, okay, beautiful. Thank you so much. Sorry for that. So I was saying, you conduct your market research. You need to understand where you're going to. You need to understand, the solution you're taking into that market. So you need to, you've established that the problems are similar. What this particular region may be experiencing is similar to what this other region is experiencing. But first of all, you need to validate the problem. You need to make sure that, this problem people can actually pay, so that you don't introduce a product, or you don't introduce your business, or you don't introduce a solution that ends up creating a problem because you don't have an understanding of, the markets, the market dynamics and all of that. So you need to understand the community, the new country, the new region you're entering into. So the first step is to do your research extensively. So you validate, the problem that you're actually going there to solve. You're going there to sell to them. You also validate the solution, the product. So you have identified this might be the problem and all of that. And you are saying, okay, fine. So let me give you this instance. We have this solar product that is hybrid, so it can be powered by the grid, and then it can be powered by solar systems and all. And then we wanted to deploy to regions that are entirely off grid. They are entirely off grid, and we did the first deployment, and the systems were failing. The systems were failing because the system we deployed is hybrid, and it was designed in such a way that you have to augment with grid charging and all that, and these people are entirely off grid. So we had to come back, do our research, improve upon what we have and all that. So these are the reasons you have to do your research before you're entering into that market. You need to understand the culture. You need to understand most of these things. So I'm in the eastern part of I'm in the southeastern part of Nigeria. We take our product as solution to the southern parts, the northern part of Nigeria, and their culture system is different. Their belief is different. Everything is different, and you want to penetrate that market. You want to come in your jeans and t-shirt. Nobody would even listen to you. Nobody would look at you and all that. So we have to come in their hijab. So while I was working with, I've done. Before I started my company, I've done consultative working with GIZ, AFC, FIMITI, and a couple of organizations, and then they send you to some of these regions, and you want to show up in your suit and your tie, your t-shirt, your jean, and all that. Now you have to learn their culture, their dressing and all that. So we show up in their hijab, and they are listening to us. They want to hear what we have to say. But when you showed up in your jeans and tee, nobody even stopped to listen to what you have to say. So these are some of the things that you find out when you do your research. Now, another thing would be to leverage ECOWAS policies, because we're talking about, entering into ECOWAS countries and all that. So you need to find out what are the opportunities, funding opportunities. So for Nigeria, for instance, I did this program early this year with some young founders, young business owners, mostly females, and there were a couple of banks, Nigerian banks that have presence in other African countries. The first speaker mentioned Access, UBA, and all that. And then there is AFTCA and a couple of other organizations that promote exporting and all that. So the program was designed mostly for female founders, female business owners, and you're providing them with funding for your first exportation, providing them with some policies they could leverage on, capacity building. They're building their capacity, providing them with everything they need to know, warehousing, freight, clearance, forwarding, and all of that. So you could find out what are the opportunities, what are the some of those capacity building funding opportunities available in your country. So for Nigeria, I could go on and mention a couple of them. What are the ones available in your country that you could leverage on? So that is another step you could take. Now, if I share my story with you as a business founder, you would find out that I have been succeeding. I'll put it that way. I've been succeeding on the wings of organizations that have funded us, supported us up until this very point. Don't want to do it alone. Don't try to just do it alone. Yes, we understand that you are a sole proprietor, lone ranger. You want to do it all by yourself and all that. But look out for opportunities that you can leverage. Look out for organizations that support your business. I did a project with Wombob. Wombob is in South Africa. I was in Joburg early this year, and I spent about a week or two in Joburg, and they gave us access to a free space. They give us access to, a lot of opportunities that if you want to start exporting, when we are ready to start exporting to South Africa, but just reach out to the team at Wombob and said, we are ready. And then we have access to their free space, we have access to their network and all that. Look out for such opportunities and leverage them. Another step would be to build a network, build network, seek partnership with local businesses in those regions that you want to export to. Seek those partnerships. So I will always say this to my team. I would prefer to be a spoke in a moving wheel than to be the entire wheel and I'm going nowhere. I will say that again. I prefer to be a spoke in a moving wheel than to be the entire wheel and I'm going nowhere. And this speaks to collaboration and partnership. I've coached a couple of young businesses and they want to do it themselves. They want to go there themselves. They don't want to share profit. They don't want to share equity. They don't want to split any of these things. They just want to do it themselves so that when the profits come, they'll take it themselves. But then it doesn't work that way. When you're doing it all alone, the profit you make, the progress you make cannot be compared with when you're collaborating with other organizations. You could have some sort of partnership that says, okay, you take 10% of these, or you take 5% of these, or you take 15% of these, and you are leveraging their network. You're leveraging, you're working with the local businesses. And now, for me, I believe that I'll prefer to work with local businesses and then sell tons of my products than going into a strange market, into a new market, and then I'm struggling to fight to fit in myself, and I'm doing just say 100,000 USD per annum. I prefer to leverage with small businesses, give out, have some partnership deals with them that makes me sell 1 million, do 1 million per annum. So build a network. I mentioned Afri Labs before now, ISN and all that. These are networks of hubs, businesses within, all of Africa. You find North Africa, South Africa, West Africa and all that. Build network. It's easier to work when you have people supporting you than when you're doing it all alone. And then finally, of course, you have to stay, updated, have understanding of regulations, trade arrangement, policies. What does it take to set up businesses in this region? What are the tax, costs associated with tax, costs associated with registering a business, costs. You need to understand this thing so that once you go into that business, you're setting up, a fully functional business. You're not just entering through the back door and trying to, sell, and then tomorrow regulators are looking for you and capturing your goods and all that. So these are the steps I believe you should take when you want to enter into new markets. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, those are very great and amazing tips. Because one thing that really caught my attention the most was when you started and talked about position. Yes, if your brand is not well positioned, then to me, I feel all these things really falls into you positioning your brand well. Okay, for my hand, we have one more question for you. But please, if you have questions, kindly use the chat box so that I can read them out to her and I can really save time. Thank you very much. Okay, so for my hand, we have just one more question for you, and that question is the third question says since we have are there opportunities for collaborations, and if there are opportunities for collaborations, how can the business owners build these collaborations for mutual benefits and expansion?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I think I missed that. Please go through it again. I think network threw me out a bit.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I was asking if there were opportunities for collaboration, and yes, if there are, how can business owners build these collaborations for mutual benefits and expansion?
Okay, opportunities for collaboration. Okay, so I'll just speak briefly to that. I think I've mentioned a couple of things. Okay, so I think I've mentioned before now a couple of things that we could do, business owners could do, and all that. Some organizations that we could join and all. And so another thing I would want to mention is aside from joining this, these are ways to build collaboration. You get ways to build collaboration. So I work with this. I work with this organization. It's called Upskill Universe. It's based in London. I work remotely with them, and what I do is just to mentor businesses, young founders who wants to grow their business, scale their business, export it to other African countries and all, even outside Africa. And one of the things that keeps coming back is how to build, how to build partnership, how to build collaboration, how to take myself out there. And I always say this to entrepreneurs, to business owners. You won't sit in your office space, you won't you won't stay back in your country and then collaboration will fall on your lap. You have to put yourself out there. You have to position. The last speaker mentioned positioning. You have to position yourself out there. You have to put yourself out there. Now, initially, I mentioned some organizations that we could join, and most of these organizations are paid. And one thing I don't know about other African countries, but I know one thing with my guys down in Nigeria, we love freebies a lot. We love when it's coming for free and all that. But most of these things you have to pay for them. So to join Afriland, for instance, I think the registration is about $500 or so. But then the opportunities you get out of it is more than what you even pay, more than your annual dues and all that. Now, what are some of the things that this exposes you to is trade fairs, expos, conventions, events like this. You travel. So we've had times where we find out it could be conventions, it could be investment summits happening around the renewable energy space, my sector. Would apply, would pay, would travel. Some come fully funded, some I would have to pay. Now, another thing I would want to drop with us, if you are a business owner, very active business owner, you should have an active LinkedIn account, very importantly. Now, when you do that, research, look out for organizations, both regional, international organizations that work, that fund opportunities around your sector, that work with, whatever sector you are in. Follow them, sign up on their newsletters. Ed Africa, for instance, they share opportunities, for Africa, they share opportunities for business persons, for young founders and all that. Sign up on such platforms, follow them on LinkedIn. Receive newsletters from them, get newsletters from them. Find out, go for these expositions, go for these trade fairs, go for these conferences, go for these, conventions. And when you put yourself out there, strategically, deliberately, like intentionally, I'm looking for another word to add to that. Look out for. So there's this thing I do that I want us to do. I've been to a couple of African countries, a lot of them, both outside of Africa. When I go to these countries, I research organizations that would be attending. I research top CEOs, top persons, top organizations, national, regional, international, that will be attending. And I look at for 2, 3, 4 that work in my region that I need, some sort of support, or I want to connect with somehow. I go to this event and I strategically position myself, connect with this organization, connect with these persons, start building, look out for what we can trade, because these things happen with exchange. Look out for what we can trade. I have this, you have this. I learned something from a senior friend when I was in Egypt for COP27. She told me, this big organization, they love data so much. You have to be able to tell them that this is what you're doing, this is what you've done so far. They want to see your impact story, they want to see your theory of change. And this is what I've done so far. This is, this is how this is affecting a lot of African Nigeria. And I can take this to say Kenya, for instance, to say Rwanda, for instance, and this is the impact we foresee to achieve. When you're talking to investors, to impact investors now, to equity investors, you're shooting your numbers. This is the number we are targeting. This is what we want to achieve. This is this is our forecast on sales. This is our forecast on, that if you're an entrepreneur, you have to be so big on research. So you position yourself this way, you attend these conferences, you attend these expositions. These are ways to build collaboration. See, you don't fall into your apps. You look out for them, you go out and source them. I don't know if you're following, you go out there, you look out for them, and you be in exchange for this. You're looking out for organizations operating in that region that you can work with. I think these are ways we can actually, build collaboration, build partnership, And, of course, I also speak to government support, regional organizational support and all that. I know over time we've received a couple of them. Look out for ways you could partner with, even if it's government at the grassroots level, so that they offer some sort of backing to what you are doing. Look out for regional organizations, regional NGOs, parastatals and all that could also give backing to what you're doing. So I think these are ways we could build partnership and support. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I hope our business owners are learning. Opportunities don't come to you, you go to them. You have to do your own homework for you to get those opportunities you want. And after getting them, you just don't stop there. Wow, Chimela, thank you very much. Okay, do we have I know I have one question here, even though I don't know if it is meant for you, but I will ask. And please, if you have question to ask Chimela, can you please use the react button, so I would know those who want to ask our questions, so we can move on quickly, because we still have one more section. I don't want to take our time any longer. Please, if you have questions, can you use the react button? Okay, let me see. I think this question should be for you, hopefully, from Chukwemeka Ekuma. It says, please, how can entrepreneur contact the business desk of any of these SA countries, especially in the mining, agriculture, and portfolio investments? I'm not sure. Is this for you? I think this should be for for Tabank, if I'm not wrong. Please, Chukwemeka, is this for her?
It's for Mr. It should be for Mr. Tabank.
Okay, please, if you have questions for Chimela, please let's hear you.
Hello, this is Mr. Kingsley.
Hello, okay, Mr. Kingsley, do you have a question?
Yes, I have a question.
Oh, please go ahead.
Yeah, I want to appreciate Air Africa for this opportunity, because somehow I get connected to Air Africa. I think last Sunday or so, when they had an event at Kadu, and somehow I got it connected. Yeah, professionally, I'm a teacher, and I want to see how to scale up and then divert to other sectors, especially agriculture. And actually, I am more or less like a starter. I'm a starter to say. So what's the best way to start? Because I want to go into agriculture, and then with time, then diversify to other sector possibly. So how do I start? That's for the last speaker.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't get your name. Are you Mr. Chukwemeka?
Yeah, I'm Mr.
No,
Kingsley Ayang.
Okay,
Kingsley Ayang.
Okay, Mr. Kingsley,
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your question. And if I heard you correctly, you're currently a teacher, you want to work in the agri sector, but you're thinking of a way to start. Okay, so I'll just quickly run through that and answer your question. So to start, so I'll just speak, to you generally. What aspect of agriculture do you want to do? What is it that you want to do? Do you want to just do farming, just usual normal farming, or do you want to build a company around agriculture, or build a startup around agriculture that would be a sustainable business that could raise investment, because I believe that part of the reason we are doing this is and what Ed Africa does, one of the things that Africa does so much is building capacity for businesses, businesses to scale their business, get access to funding and all of that. Now I'll run through this very quickly. First of all, one of the things you need to do first and foremost is to identify the sector, the particular value chain that you want to feature in the agri sector. Identify a problem in that value chain, identify a problem in that sector. So say it is conservation, it is, so farmers grow food and then a lot goes to waste because there is no good storage system, or, animals die because of this, that. So you need to identify a problem in a particular value chain that you want to solve. That's the first thing. That the second thing you need to do is to validate the problem. Validating the problem means that you have to find out if this is really a problem and if it is something that you can actually solve. There's some problems we refer to as wicked problems that You cannot solve them. If you want to solve them, you get another problem. You solve them, you get another problem. So you know to validate the problem. Now sit down and think of ways of solving that problem. Think of a solution. Now, this is how most businesses start. This is probably how the Ed Africa team started, put together Ed Africa. This is how I started Solaris, and we are where we are now. We are raising, thousands of USD, in grant and investment and all that. It all started with sitting down, identifying a problem, thinking of a solution. So you identify the problem, you validate the problem, you come up with a solution. This is how I want to solve this problem. Validate the solution. You go ahead and validate the solution, because then there are some solutions that I've dealt with entrepreneurs, founders, coached a couple of them that are so emotional. They are so attached with their solution that you're telling them this will not work. This will not work. This infrastructure, this hardware, it will not work. They tell you, no, me this in my dream. You said it will work and all of that. So you have to validate the solution to be sure that that is the viable, identify a target market. Now, this is to be sure that you're actually solving for a market to sell what you have. And if you can't sell what you have, there's no point in being in business. And that is one beautiful thing about Africa. I know there are a lot of opportunities, a lot of funders. There is one bank pumping money into Africa.
Okay, I think she had a network issue, because the network is so bad this evening. Please let's give her a minute to be back on the call so that she can just answer those questions for us.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Network threw me out. Sorry, what was the last thing you heard?
Okay, you were
can
still
you hear me?
Yes, you were still explaining how can go about navigating.
Okay, yeah. So I mentioned you identify the value chain you want to work in, identify the problem, identify your solution, the product you want to deploy, you validate the problem, you identify a target audience, market that is willing to buy, to give you money in exchange for that solution that you want to buy, you want to sell, and then you sit down and develop a business model. How do you want to sell? How do you want to go into market? Do you want to deal directly with customers? Do you want to work with other businesses? Do you want to do B2G, sell to? So this is a step-by-step, and it applies to all sectors. So you can apply it in your agri-business. So sit down, look at the value chain, top to bottom of the agri value chain. Identify areas you can come in, identify unique proposition, something you can bring into the market, and people will be willing to buy, hop on it and all. So
all right, thank you very much, Chimela. Demi, I hope our answer should have helped with your question as well. Chimela, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I hope your answer should have sorted this too, because we have someone who asked the question, how do I follow my passion for business as a newbie? So I think that answer will have covered for the two. Okay, Aaron, I can see your hand, but please let me quickly ask this question, then you can go on. There's a question in the chat box that says, please, ma'am, how can a startup entrepreneur develop all you just said, grasp to them, and also maintain them to maximize and scale up in partnership and collaboration? I don't know if you got that, or do I recap?
Okay, so he's asking how can a young business develop all of that?
Yeah, yes, a startup.
The other part.
Yeah, how can they develop all you said and then implement them, maintain them to maximize and scale up in partnership and collaboration?
Okay, so I wouldn't want to go so deep. I think our time is fast spent already. But if you're able to identify all of this, put it into a living document, the document we all know as a business plan. Now, I'm a business person. I'm a founder, an entrepreneur in Nigeria. One of the things I'm committed to is building transgenerational businesses that are well structured, businesses that can, do collaborations, establish partnerships, raise investment, outlive their founders and all of that. I did a program with a university in Silicon Valley, and part of what we did, because the project was a project on a program on entrepreneurship, and we studied businesses in West African countries, like businesses in America. We studied businesses that have lived for 100 years, 200 years. But then when we come down to Africa, Nigeria, for instance, now, we look at businesses founded by indigenes and all. You hardly find businesses that are, that have lived up to 50, 100 years. So down the southeastern part of Nigeria, we have the Mecca and Son enterprise, where a father group of son, once the father is dead, the business closes or the children takes over and all that. I'm talking of businesses that are multi-million businesses. And the way to start this, I know for sure that all of those businesses started small. They started as an idea, as a startup, and the way to go is to identify all of this, put all of this together, structure all of this, have corporate governance around what you do, put structure in. Even if it is a one-man business or you have 3 persons on your team, set up corporate governance policies, practices, structures for your business. Now you've identified all of this, the problem, the solution, the target audience, your TAM, your SAM, your SUM, all of those things. You put it in a living document. Your business plan. Develop these documents for your business. It should have your executive summary, should have your objective, your vision, why you want to do this business, SDG goals that you are aligning with, your product, your services. So there's what we call a data room. Set up a data room for your business. Now, when we talk of data room, some persons think is when you want to start raising investment. We've raised a couple of investment, equity investment, we've raised data room, for that. And the stress it put us through. Then, if I knew the things I know now when we started out, I would have created a data room. Then you create a data room. You have the policy. You have your business documentation on your data room. The data room could be a folder in your drive. You have your business registration documents. You formalize your business. In Nigeria, is with CAC. In different other countries, find out business registration, organizations. Formalize your business. You have your business registration document inside your data room. You have, if it is a limited liability, if it's a partnership, you have your partnership agreement. You have your shareholders agreement. You have all of those agreements, your co-founders agreement. Do not start off something on a gentleman's agreement. You want to do things with 2 or 3 persons. Don't shake hands and say, okay, now you are the CEO and the CMO, you are the COO, let's start. When money starts coming in, problem would come up, and this kills a lot of businesses. It killed my first business, so I'm sharing from experience. I wouldn't go deep into the story. Do not start off on a gentleman's agreement. Have this documented, your co-founders, your founders' agreements, signed, sealed, you put in your data room. You have your business plan. Your business plan is a living document. It's subject to changes, to reviews and all. Put everything you need, detail don't give it to a consultant. I know many of us will give to consultants to do. Even if you give it to a consultant, work with the consultant. Make sure you know the details of your business. Put it together, put it there. Develop pitch decks. You don't even need to have an investor to pitch to an investor. If I want to sell this business, how do I come up with a pitch deck, a presentation? Start putting up things together that would help you sell your business. Put it there. Design your product. Have a document, have a catalog for your product, your services. Put it in the data room. Come up with policies that guide whatever you do with your co-founders, with employees, all of those things. Put it together, put it in that data room. Now, these are things you could do. Put it together. Now, when you're talking to others for partnership, they want to see that you have your, all those policies in place. Pay your tax, very important. Register with your tax, your, federal, if it's in Nigeria, FIRS, in other countries. When these opportunities come, they want to go through your books. They want to see that you're not doing, one backyard business or so. Put these things together, put your house together. Don't wait until the partnership opportunity, and then you're running helter-skelter. Put these things together. You have, your books are up to date. You're a small business. You don't need to wait until you have a team of 20 before you need to separate yourself from the business. No, the business should have its own account. Separate yourself from the business. Because when a funder comes, whether impact, whether equity, whether grant or anything, they want to see this. They want to say that the business is an entity of its own. So have all of these things in your data room. Set it up for your business. I promise you, you can enter into any collaboration. You can enter into any partnership. You can sustain that business. You can grow that business. When it is a separate entity than when it is just your thing. When it is just your thing, you can wake up one day and you're not feeling so well. you don't show up. When it is just your thing, you can wake up one day and then your passion says, oh, you're going to football, you close up the, but when the business is structured, formalized, legalized, you have other persons in the business, other partners, you won't wake up one day and then you want to do whatever thing, whatever you want and all that. I always tell people, the point where we've built my company, Solaris, to is we've brought it to a point where we can't fail. I'm not saying this to brag or to show off. We can't fail because even if I wake up tomorrow and take a walk, the partners that we have on board can take Solaris to whatever height that they want. So I'll just stop that. I believe I was able to answer your question.
Okay, Chimela, thank you very much. That was an impactful section, learned, and I'm sure every business owner on this call as well has learned one or two things. The new ones has learned, okay, these are the things I can do to start up, and these are the ways I can go about it. While those that are already established, already know that, okay, if I want to leverage into ECOWAS, and these are the things I can do.
My question can really be answered by anybody. I think even Mr. Tiban can be able to
please go
my question. Okay, so now we are talking about cross-border business. I, for one, have always looked at having a business that is cross-border, that cuts across countries in Africa and even intercontinental. But one major challenge I've had, which I know it's not peculiar to Nigeria alone, is the socioeconomic issues. One of the socioeconomic issues is the current security challenge. I think it's faced across different regions in Africa. I think every region has their own fair share of insecurity. And there are a lot of government policies that keep springing up every day that seems to not support foreign-owned businesses. So now I'm really concerned, right? Maybe if somebody could speak along that lines to address this particular fear and concern. Because imagine one having an investment in the country and then say a couple of years down the line, you're now faced with maybe government seizing your assets, or there's an insecurity situation that's not allowing you, to go into where your business is. So these are these are germane fears. These are fears that are real, that have been experienced by businesses every day. So I don't know, maybe Mr. Tiban can also speak to that if Madam Chimela is on the call, to be able to speak to this, to know how to allay these fears and to easily give confidence to we SMEs that are hoping to branch out into these to go into other countries in Africa and also even intercontinental as well.
Yeah, no, thanks for the question. It's a good question. We have a similar situation in South Africa, but South Africa and the rest of the SADC region is open for business. So there's companies that are owned by non-South Africans, lots of them. So where you have a challenge, and I'm sure it's been in the media for a while now, where you find that in the townships of South Africa, you have those shops, small shops. They are called spaza shops. Spaza meaning a shop lookalike. Now, what happens is these shops traditionally, these are retail stores, small shop, like on a 10, 20 square meter, property. Normally it's in somebody else's house, and just, what was used as a parking for a vehicle is now converted to a shop. So we have a situation where traditionally those shops would be run by a family, maybe the dad has retired, now the child is running the shop. But now what has happened is we had an influx of people from Asia, Pakistan, India, as well as people from Ethiopia. What happened is that most of them, then they would go to the house owner and sign the lease agreement, and then they start running the shop. So then they mushroomed, there's lots of them. Then they started competing with the people in the townships, the shop owners in the townships, and that created those dynamics of riots and all of that. That's the only area where you have that. But the government does not say, no, close shops, go. No, the government is saying, if you have a shop, make sure that your paperwork is fine, you are documented in the country, you have your paperwork sorted when you came into the country, you have a way of accounting who you are. But now what happens is some of these guys, especially the ones from Pakistan and those areas, then they would not even have a bank account. Then they would keep lots of cash in those shops. And then they become victims of robberies, and some of them are undocumented. No one knows where they come from. And then they keep flocking in also, and then there's mushrooming of all these jobs, and that creates problems in the townships. That is the only area where there's tension. But for a business that is registered properly, someone wants to run a farm or a mining operation or financial services business or a tech company or whatever, as long as your paperwork is done properly, then no one is the government will not take anything away from you. Never. South Africa and the countries in the region are open. I know in Zimbabwe at some point there was that a law, indigenization of some sort, but it was referring to large multinationals that would come and set up a mining operation. But even that, I think they've since, I don't have much detail about that, but I think they've since relaxed it a bit. So you shouldn't worry around at all, especially when you have, let's say you have a partner or someone you're collaborating with locally here, then that shouldn't worry. That shouldn't worry you. Yeah, thanks, Chair.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Bank. Aaron, I hope that okay. I want to be sure that answers your question. Okay, thank you very much.